Hi students, I think you are all in the safe zone. I want to deliver a lecture through video app. That lecture that is for geoinformatics for precision farming. The lecture is platforms and sensors. So already I have mentioned about the electromagnetic radiation and concepts of remote sensing. The next lecture, the third lecture I think so, it is the platform and sensors, types and characteristics. Platforms, I already mentioned that platforms are nothing but they are the device to mount the camera or sensors. Sensors are nothing but they are the cameras. Platforms are the stage to mount the camera or sensors to take the image of the terrain features. Based on the altitude of the platform, the platforms are being classified as um, ground-based platforms, airborne platforms, and space-borne platforms. Come to the ground-based platforms. These are the platforms. They are the device. They are used to keep the camera. Here, it is not necessary for installing the platform. That is, it is nothing but just our traditional photographic camera or the platforms. Here the platforms are a human being who will be taking the photographic camera to take the image of the terrain features. The second category is the airborne platforms. Airborne platforms are the device such as laders, crane, cherry pickers, even our helicopters are the examples of airborne platforms. They have been effectively used for taking aerial photographs. Then apart from that, we have one more category, that is the space-borne platforms. Space-borne platforms are nothing but they are the satellites. They are orbiting around the earth. They are orbiting when the earth is being revolving. So that satellites are the typical examples for space-borne platforms. So regarding satellites, they have been classified as classified into two. One is the sun synchronous satellites and geostationary satellites. The sun synchronous satellites, these are the satellites which will be functioning at the local sun time only, so we can take the images at the sun time only. In case of geostationary satellites, they have been taking these satellites are taking images at day and night, so that we can get the hemispheric coverage of the earth surface. Means daytime coverage and the nighttime coverage we can get by these satellites. The examples of these geostationary satellites are Meteosat, because these satellites are extensively used in the meteorological observations. So that's why the satellite is called as Meteosat, Intelsat, and INSAT. Then coming to the sensors. So till now we have seen about the platforms. Platforms are nothing but they are the stage to mount the camera or the sensors. Cameras are nothing but they are the sensors. Then come to the sensors. So based on the sensors are the device, they are gathering the electromagnetic radiation and convert them into signals are nothing but they are the output, they are the image. Oh, that means it may be the aerial image or it may be the ground image. Okay, based on the energy used in the sensors are being classified into two. One is the active sensors, another one is passive sensors. Active sensors are the device, they are using their own electromagnetic energy. So they don't have, they are not depending on the external source of energy. That's why that sensors are called as active sensor. Examples are lidar, radar, and sonar. So these are the cameras are being used as active sensors for taking image of the terrain features, and they have been mainly used for taking aerial images. And come to the another sensor, that is the passive sensor. Passive sensors are the device, they are depending external source of energy, because mainly they are depending on the sunlight. For that, the typical example is our traditional photographic camera is the example for passive sensors. Then the another classification of sensor is that is based on the that classification is based on the scanning. Based on the scanning, the sensors are being categorized into two. One is the across track scanner and another one is along track scanner. Across track scanner is nothing but the if you are taking the image by using drone camera வச்சு நம்ம படம் எடுத்தோம்னா that is called as across track scanner. Whereas the along track scanner is if you are taking image by using the traditional photo camera. For example, ஒரு மண்டபத்துல ஒரு கல்யாணம் நடக்குது அப்படின்னா நம்ம வெளியில இருந்து அப்படியே உள்ள போனோம், அப்படியே ஸ்டேஜ் வரைக்கும் போனோம்னா that is called as along track scanner னு சொல்றோம். அக்ராஸ் ட்ராக் ஸ்கேனர்னும் போது ஒரு இடத்துல இருந்துட்டு ஒரு சர்டன் ஹைட்ல இருந்துட்டு if you are taking images means that is called as across track scanner. The across track scanner is otherwise called as whisk broom scanner, whereas the along track scanner is called otherwise called as push broom scanner. Broom means it is nothing but broomstick. Whisk broom na ரெண்டு பக்கமும் கூட்டி சாரி ஒரு பக்கமாக கூட்டி போனோம்னா தள்ளிக்கிட்டே போகிறோம், குப்பையில் தள்ளிட்டு போகிறோம்னா that is called as whisk broom. Whereas the push broom is we are sweeping both side, so that is called as push broom. Okay, then so this is about the platforms and the sensors. So we have to have the two important devices to take the image from certain height. That images are called as aerial images or aerial photographs, like that we are saying. After that, after we have taken the images, we have to see about the resolution of the photograph. Resolution is nothing but it is the clarity of the image. So it is a simple word, we can say it is clarity of the image. We have taken a photograph, we have to clarify each and every objects in that photograph. That is called as, that capacity is called as resolution. So resolution is nothing but it's the clarity of the image. The resolution is being classified into spectral resolution, spatial resolution, radiometric resolution and temporal resolution. The first resolution is the spatial. First we will say about the spatial resolution. The spatial resolution is the capacity of the sensor to discriminate the individual object in the photograph. For example, ஒரு மரம் இருக்குன்னா அது மரம், அடுத்தது வந்து ஒரு ஹியூமன் பீயிங் நின்னா அது ஒரு ஹியூமன் பீயிங், ஒரு அனிமல் நின்னா ஒரு அனிமல். இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேட் பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னா ஒரு இமேஜை எடுத்து ஒரு ஃபோட்டோகிராஃப் எடுத்து if you are differentiating that each and every objects in that image means that resolution, that clarity is called as spatial resolution. And the second resolution is the spectral resolution. Spectral resolution is nothing but it's a capacity of the sensor to discriminate the wavelength intervals. That means if it is green means it is green னு தனியா நம்ம ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றோம், ரெட் னு தனியா ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றோம், ப்ளூ னு தனியா ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றோம்னா that resolution, that clarity is called as spectral resolution. And the third resolution is the radiometric resolution. Radiometric resolution is also similar to that of spectral resolution. That is nothing but the capacity of the sensor or camera to differentiate the finer variation in the wavelength. I'm saying already I said that it is green means green, red means red. In that green we can classify into dark green, medium green, pale green, light green, like that we are classifying pista green, like that we are classifying that variation, that capacity to differentiate the finer variation in the wavelength, that is called as radiometric resolution. And the next resolution is the last resolution is the temporal resolution. Temporal resolution is nothing but it's the capacity of the camera or sensor to take the image, to take the same image at same angle at a different time. That is called as temporal resolution. Now today we may have a hot temperature, hot atmosphere. Tomorrow we may have cloudy atmosphere. The same area we are collecting, we are taking image means if it is hot atmosphere means definitely that the clarity of the image will be somewhat different. If it is cloudy atmosphere means the image, the output will be somewhat different. So that clarity, that the capacity to clarify the images is called as temporal resolution. Till now we have seen about the platforms, sensors and their resolution. So everything have been given in your lecture notes that has been sent to your mail, I think so. So you can study that material and you compare. If whenever you are feeling difficult to understand the lecture means you just see that video also, then only you can understand the lecture very comprehensively. So if you have any doubt in the regard with regard to this lecture, you can call me, or again and again if you will see that video means you can get definitely will be your doubt will be clear. Thank you.